What's up everybody, and welcome to today's Tableau walkthrough. In this video we're going to talk about dashboard actions. So the first thing we need to do is open our Tableau application. The second thing that you need to do, I believe, given you've watched previous videos, you should have some type of worksheet or dashboard that is already created. And if you do have a worksheet or dashboard created, it should appear in this open section in your home interface on Tableau. If you don't, I recommend creating your first dashboard and then coming back to this video. But once we've created a dashboard, I'm going to click on my first dashboard workbook. And this should open up the dashboard that you have created. And in this particular walkthrough, we're going to talk about 3 different types of dashboard action. The first one you should be somewhat familiar with, and that's a filter. But in this particular case, we're going to use an object on our dashboard as a filter. So the first thing you need to do is choose an object. I'm going to navigate to my layout pane, then scroll down to my item hierarchy, hit the drop down arrow next to tiled, hit the drop down arrow next to vertical container, and then hit another drop down arrow next to horizontal container. Of course, there's a lot of drop downs in the hierarchy. Then hit the drop down arrow next to vertical container and the drop down arrow next to vertical container. Yes, you don't have to go through all this every time, but this allows me to see the structure of my dash and everything that I have going on with it. I want to use this particular profit by category as a filter. And to do that, I'm going to click profit by category. And what it means to use an object as a filter is basically saying whatever you click on this particular object, it will impact everything on your dashboard. So these values will change or be filtered and segmented, and then these values will change based on what you click. To use this as a filter, all you have to do is highlight the object, then click this icon here. Let me zoom in so that you can see it. The icon is this little filter object. It's pretty common in a lot of different tools. I'm going to click that, and now, simple as that, it's used as a filter. So now if I click the furniture or the technology line on the profit by category, you'll see what happens to the data. Now you'll see that this profit by segment bar chart changed to everything that's related to technology. Then everything here on the customer details, the values change based on all the values and customers that made profit in the technology category. To remove it, I'll click it again. Then let's say we want to look at office supplies instead. It'll change. And all you have to do is click it again to remove the filter, and it goes back to the data that you are used to seeing and just the overall dashboard view. Next type of dashboard action is a go to sheet action. The go to sheet action can quickly navigate from one view to another view, dashboard, or story. To do that, I'm going to decide to use this profit by segment. Say that you have some data related to a particular category like corporate, consumer, home office, and you want to click this particular chart and navigate to another dashboard or another worksheet. And so let's say I want to click on this particular bar chart and then navigate to the customer details and just see that in its totality. To do this, we need to go to Dashboard, click Actions, or you can press Control-Shift-D or Command-Shift-D if you're on a MacBook. Once you click Actions, you'll see that our filter action is already here. Then we need to add an action to the workbook. So you have the ability to add an action to a sheet or a workbook. We're using this workbook, and we're going to click the add action button. And then you have different options. You have filter, highlight action, go to URL, which we'll discuss in this video, go to sheet, change parameter, and change set values. So we're going to click go to sheet. Now you should have a dialog box that allows you to create your first action. First, you're going to name your action. Then it's going to tell you which source sheet you care about clicking to navigate to a next sheet. Then the target sheet tells you which sheet you're going to navigate to once you click that variable. And that's only if you have the run action on select. You can also do hover, menu, or just single select only, which allows you to only click once and not go back. So we're going to keep it as default, and we're going to keep it as my first dashboard, but you do have options to select a data source or just a specific worksheet. I'm also going to name it before starting this particular process. So we're going to the worksheet customer details. So I'm going to name it go to sheet customer details. Then we're going to use the profit by segment. So the only one that should be selected is the profit by segment bar chart. And the sheet that we want to go to is the customer detail sheet. We're going to select OK. And then we see that we have our new go to sheet action added. We're going to select OK, and we've created this action. Now, once we click anywhere on this segment sheet, it's going to automatically take us to the customer details worksheet. So I'm going to demonstrate that just by clicking on the bar chart. As you see, we're now on the customer details view. To get back to my first dashboard, we're going to select my first dashboard, and now we're back. And to remove the selection, we just click on the selection. Now to create a URL action, you need to do the very similar process to the go to sheet. However, you replace the go to sheet to go to URL. Let's say we want to look up some more information on these categories that we care about. And let's say each time we click on these line charts, it takes us to a Google search of each individual category. So technology, office supplies, or furniture. To do this, we need to click Dashboard on our toolbar, click Actions, and then we need to add a new action. So we click down, and then we click Go to URL. And it's a very similar setup. This particular case, let's say we want to change our name to go to Google. Then let's say we want to click on the profit by category sheet. So anything that we click on in the profit by category line chart, then we're going to go to the URL. So instead of menu, we need to click select. We can keep these the same. So we're just going to open a new tab or a new web page. Then for the URL, this is where it gets a little tricky. So when you are creating a Google search, like for example, we know one of the searches is technology. Let's open up a Google web browser or any web browser that you actually care about. I'm using Google Chrome, and let's type in technology. I'm going to type in just for the sake of the example. you see that everything on technology comes up. You can see technology is in every search link, and technology is highlighted in our hyperlink because this is what we're searching for. We need to figure out a way to dynamically change this when we click on the worksheet. Let's do that first. First, we need to highlight this. So if you hit Control A, this will select everything in your search bar. Then you hit Control C or Command C if you're on a MacBook to copy it. Now let's go back to our Tableau. Copy that URL there. And yes, I know it's long, but don't worry, it's going to be a little bit easier. Like I said, this is where we search. The word we search is technology. What if we want to search office supplies or furniture? And we can dynamically change this by just using the insert button. So the insert button is right beside my Grammarly feature. I kind of want to remove this feature now that it's annoying me a lot. I hit insert. Then we need to select the category. And so now it replaced technology with category. So now every time we click, this is what we're going to use as our search. So as you see, it has furniture down here as default. So that's whatever category that we have selected or have selected in our visualization. Now, if you have something that looks similar to this, we're going to press OK. Once we press OK, we're going to see our new action added to the spreadsheet of actions that are already created. You see that there's something added to the field section, which is category, and we can press OK. Now, ideally, once we click anywhere on one of these line charts, it will automatically take us to a Google search on the particular category. So let's practice it. So once you've created the action, ideally, once you click on any of these variables in the line chart, you should be able to automatically go into a Google web browser that searches the particular category. So first, let's start with technology, since that's what we've done before. Boom. We now have technology open. Now, let's go back to our Tableau. Let's try office supplies this time. So let's deselect this and let's try office supplies. Boom. We have office supplies that are open. It takes me to like Office Depot, Office Max. And you see, you can do this depending on what you want user to actually see. And maybe you have some information internally or internal link that you want user to navigate to after clicking on a dashboard. Now you have that capability given dashboard actions. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.